where Dr. King spoke of his dream. Here we stand, we're 108 years ago at another inaugural. Thousands of protesters tried to block brave women.
You're watching News Now from Fox. Right now we are taking a listen to President Biden's first address to the nation as president. But right now I want to switch gears and bring you all a live interview from Eric Whitmire. Good morning, Eric. How are you? Thank you so much.
Rain, good morning. It's great to see you. Thanks for having me back again.
So, Eric, we were just now showing our viewers President-elect Biden's first address to the nation on Inauguration Day. But, you know, a lot of people are still feeling emotionally charged. We've had a very challenging election season, and we even saw protests yesterday around the country, and on social media, I've even seen a few debates. Why do you think this is?
I refer to this as inauguration intoxication. We just been so intoxicated in emotion as a nation for well over the last year. We're just overcome with emotion. We're incapable of thinking logically. Yesterday came, everybody, it was a fever pitch yesterday. Everybody kind of lost their minds to a certain degree, but now it's time to sober up. I use that term, being intoxicated in emotion, because it's dangerous. It's to the point now where we all have to sit back and realize, hey, I have got to get my emotions under control. I can't control what's happening outside of me right now. Whoever was elected, whatever's going on, whatever executive orders they sign, whatever changes they make, we have zero control over that. So what we need to do is take total control over what we can, which are our thoughts and our actions. We have to get much better at that.
Whenever we do engage in these conversations, how can we avoid getting a little too emotional? And if things do become escalated, how do we de-escalate the situation?
Yeah, we're in these situations all the time, right, Rand? I mean, this is like, it's an everyday occurrence now. We live in this outrage culture where everybody automatically assumes the worst intentions in others. The minute we disagree with someone, it automatically defaults to these defense mechanisms of defending ourselves and getting upset. I think what's most important is for everyone to understand and recognize and acknowledge our triggers. We all have triggers. We all have these things that set us off. It might be a word, it might be a phrase, might be a person, whatever it is. We have to be aware of these triggers. And when one of those triggers are pulled, we have to realize that what's going to follow that is going to be an emotion-based reaction. When we react emotionally as opposed to responding logically, we say and do things we're going to regret. So if we can take a step back, take control of the emotion, and know that we're going to react emotionally initially, we're much better off. And also pre-programming our brains to be put in those situations, because we're constantly going to be around people that we disagree with. We have to find skills and coping mechanisms for dealing with people that we disagree with, other than yelling and screaming and name calling. We got to get better at that.
So what are some good coping mechanisms?
Alcohol works great for me personally, right? That's just me. I don't know. I just can't seem to take the time. I'm messing with you. It's acknowledging and getting better and getting to be better listeners too. This is a really critical piece of it. We have to get better listeners. And I tell you the other thing that I'm really big on right now, and I'm referring to this as assigning collective punishment for isolated guilt. This is a major problem we're facing right now as a nation. And what I mean by that is, we take these circumstances, we take these things that happen, and they make up a fraction of the whole big picture. But what we're doing is we're assigning collective punishment for that one isolated incident. It's a problem. And what we see when you want to divide this in left and right, each side has their whack jobs, right? We got the 1% whack job over here, 1% whack job over here. When the 1% does something crazy, the other side automatically assigns collective punishment to the whole group. Meanwhile, it's the 1% that's throwing everything off. So if we can take a step back and acknowledge that 98% of the people on the opposing side, whatever side you're on, right, left, doesn't matter to me, it's irrelevant. 98% of the people on the opposing side probably agree on the most fundamental things, right? We want our kids to grow up safe. We want to do well financially. We want to just have a wonderful life. So we put all this emphasis on the 1% of craziness that's happening. We have to step back from that and realize that even though we disagree with people, we probably agree on a lot of stuff, and we probably love each other.
And I find it interesting that you mentioned we should all know our triggers. I think that would have been great for a lot of people to know before they've had maybe some sensitive or emotionally charged conversations. So for people who have maybe damaged relationships or connections because of this, what are some good ways that we can mend our relationships that we still value?
Yeah, that's difficult right now, Ram. That's really difficult because I know personally quite a few people who have lost relationships, like they're done, they're finished, they're over, all because of politics. And see, that's the issue, because then we get to this society, this social media society, right, where it's more about social media than social interaction, and we just hunker down in these thought processes of we can't veer off what we believe, and the minute you disagree, you're upset with this person, I have to hate you. So I think when we I use that term sober up, I think once we sober up, hopefully we're going to be able to rekindle some of these relationships, say, hey, you know what, why don't we start putting a lot more mental energy towards this thing that we agree on? What's your favorite football, who's your favorite football team? Who do you want to win the World Series? Like, what do you think of The Bachelor? Like, let's start focusing more on the things we have in common, and let's start searching for solutions for problems, not problems for solutions.
Eric, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on our show. A lot of good tips to kind of come down from the intoxication of inauguration, as you like to call it. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great seeing you, Ray. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Take care.
Take care. And I want to continue to show you all President Biden's first address to the nation as we continue right here on News Now from Fox.